Welcome to week 23 for Xur's Inventory, where this week he feels like people should be punching stuff. A lot of punching, encouragement. He's in a hangar downstairs. He's got scout rifle, hand cannon, and fusion rifle telemetries. Level up those weapons faster, along with plasma drive and emerald coil for those sparrow upgrades, and no heavy ammo synthesis. Titans, you get Helm of Inmost Light. Stat roll of 104 is pretty average as far as the helm stat goes. I can't really recommend this helm that much. The bonuses are increased melee attack speed, which is good, and picking up an orb reduces your melee cooldown, which is not so good. The main bonus gives you Death from Above and Headstrong for Fist of Havoc. It's definitely not a top 3 PvE exotic, it's not really useful for the raid over other exotics, and its real only utility is in PvP, and even there it's kinda, at best. I certainly wouldn't use it over the Armamentarium for PvP, if you have that. I don't think this is an urgent buy at all. If you passed on it, that would be just fine. I don't recommend it as a first exotic either, it's just not very good. It's not awful, but it ain't that good. Hunters, you get the Crest of Alpha Lupi. 143 strength is a pretty good stat roll for chest armor, and carrying more special and hand cannon ammo is pretty good. This is a Keeper of the Pack exotic, where you revive teammates faster, and you generate more orbs of light with your super. It's an alright chest armor, but it's nothing to write home about. Really shines in 3v3 PvP. Shines in clutch Nightfall res situations, but is it absolutely crucial to have? I'd say, not really. It is subclass neutral, which is nice, but is it an urgent buy? I don't think so. Judgment call as far as buying goes. It depends on what you have. It's a decent first exotic, but if you skipped it, that would be okay. Warlocks, you get your Keeper of the Pack exotic, Light Beyond Nemesis. 114th strength is a high stat roll, so that's good. Increased melee attack speed is good. Replenish health whenever you pick up an orb is And then you have the Keeper of the Pack, more orbs and you respawn faster. The only reason I give this helm any more consideration versus the Hunter counterpart is because of the health regen bonus. It is pretty nice to have for the Crow to fight. Picking up an orb gives you more health. Typically everyone is trying to generate a ton of orbs, makes your life a lot easier. Otherwise it's the same as the Hunter one. Good for 3v3, good for clutch Nightfall moments, but not an absolute necessity. Once again, judgment call, slightly more in favor of yes, strictly because of that Crota utility, but much like the previous two items, if you skipped, not the end of the world. Xur has heard your calls for Icebreaker, and he's selling it again for the second time in 5 weeks. I will say that the Icebreaker hype has decreased since the first release of Crota's End. It was a great weapon for those learning the normal mode, especially the normal mode Crota fight. I know my group had a lot of them when we were first starting out. Since then, I've seen a little bit of a decline in its use for the Crota fight specifically. A lot of people have black hammers, people are more comfortable with the fight, so getting ammo isn't as big of a deal anymore. All that being said, I definitely think you should still pick one up because at the end of the day, it's still a very, very good PvE weapon. It's great for Solar Burn Nightfalls, although I guess if you have a Yallarhorn, you'll probably be using that. Still, I think it's definitely worthy of a purchase. Definitely consider picking one up if your money allows it. We will move to the armor upgrades. Hunters, you have Knucklehead Radar and Crest of Alpha Lupi. Priority would go to Alpha Lupi for PvE, this having a whopping 159 strength, more than the one that's on sale. I don't think many people use Knucklehead in PvE, it's more of a PvP thing where the increased light really only matters for Iron Banner, although Iron Banner is coming back on the 17th, so it's a good time to get it upgraded if you want to. Titans, you get Helm of Inmost Light and Crest of Alpha Lupi. PvE priority goes to the Crest, although its stat roll is a little on the weak side at 129. The Inmost Light stat roll is very above average at 121. Don't see many of those 120 plus stat rolls on helms too often. Warlocks get Apotheosis Veil, and Sunbreakers, neither boasting impressive stat rolls at 108 and 83 respectively. Gonna give priority to the Veil because of its Crota utility. It's better than Nemesis for what it's worth, but that's literally the only time I imagine Warlocks using the Apotheosis Veil in general. Otherwise, Sunbreakers, I guess? But they've been upgradable a lot recently. Weapon upgrades, we have Last Word, Icebreaker, Patience and Time, Super Good Advice, Gjallarhorn, and Truth. Now, like I said, Iron Banner is coming up, so it's a good time to get that Last Word upgraded and ready to go for Iron Banner. All of these upgrade options are pretty good, minus the Super Good Advice, which is probably last place. PvE priority is probably the Horn, followed by the Snipers, then Truth, then Last Word, then Super Good Advice. PvP priority, since Iron Banner's coming up, would be Last Word, then Truth, then Patience and Time and the Horn, I think, are tied, then Icebreaker, then Super Good Advice in last place again. That is your Xur for week 23. Have a great weekend, and I will see you next time. Since then, I've seen a decline in its use for the Crotus fight specifically. F***ing really? At 2 in the morning. 2 in the morning. I'm getting alerts on the phone.